nothing nationwide is the mission, he told me. Put some money on this little bro book, send him a kite.
Hi everyone. This is going to be a very short and sweet product review. Plus we're going to have a nice teaching point, actually 2 of them, and a very easy recommendation for good oral health. Last summer I decided that I wanted to spend as much money as I could reasonably afford out of my budget with some Black-owned companies. But I had a very special criteria. I wanted to select items that were available to people who were lower middle class down and that were staple items. There were a lot of items that I wanted. I mean, there was tons of stuff. But I wanted to find things that were a super good value and then test those products and see if I could integrate them into my household. One of the products that I purchased were these Coral Oral toothbrush packages. There are 4 in a package, and my original purchase with this company was for 4 individual packets. I used to be an extreme couponer, and one thing that you never, ever paid for as a couponer was for a toothbrush. But what I realized when I went to the Coral Oral website was that a package was the same competitive price as any other item on the market. I purchased several packages just to kind of offset the shipping. And when I got them, I gave a few to some friends. They were totally happy. Generally with a toothbrush, you can expect that like maybe 1 or 2 bristles will come out. And of all of these that I've ever used, only 1 bristle has ever come out. So these are perfect. And the price point is perfect. This is not expensive. And now Coral Oral is the toothbrush that's going to be used in my home as long as they continue production. Right around Christmas time, on Instagram, they had a big sale. So I went over there and bought 9 more packages. So last year I bought 13 individual packages so that right around Christmas I could put them in people's stockings or add it to their gift. I'm going to link to their website below, which, by the way, their company now is run by youth. They're allowing people who are young to aid in the running of this company. I had a good shipping experience. I mean, they arrived right away. Now, let me share with you a little teaching point about oral health and also a product that I'm going to recommend to this company that they may be able to make one day. These right here are tongue scrapers. They help to clean your tongue. I've used these for about 20 years. Now, the best tongue scraper that I've ever used was very similar to a toothbrush, but it had a round little spot at the top of it with big, huge divots for the scraping. So I'm going to suggest to Coral Oral that maybe in the future, because they're already producing a toothbrush, they can produce a tongue scraper, you know, black handle, just like they're doing right now, with the big old round section at the top for the scraping. Now, I buy these in bulk on eBay, and oddly enough, this one right here is not as good as this one up here, but it's only because of the way that they've made it. They've made it so that the divots on the top are not strong enough to really extract material from the top of your tongue. And this has better scraping ability. So actually how you hold it is just like, you hold it like this and you rake it over the top of your tongue. You hold it like this and you rake it over the top of your tongue. It's really a good idea to scrape your tongue, okay? You cannot imagine what comes off of your tongue. This tooth scraper right here is, out of these 2, the one that you actually want. And I'm going to put an eBay link to this down below. Let's talk about who were the first African American dentists in the United States. The first male African American dentist in the United States was Robert Tanner Freeman. He was professionally trained at Harvard University, and he graduated 4 years after the Civil War on May 18th, 1869. The first female African American dentist was Ida Gray Nelson Rollins, who was born in Clarksville, Tennessee in 1867. Her mother died in her teen years, and so she was raised by her aunt, and her father, who was white, played a part in her education. Now, she graduated from the University of Michigan with a doctorate in dental surgery in 1890. I'll link their bios below, as well as an article about the number of dentists that graduate who are African American in the United States every year, including the numbers that they anticipate would actually be needed to serve the community. You see this book right here, and this book right here. That is the Essential Writings and Speeches of Martin Luther King Jr., and that is the Heart of Understanding, which is an exposition on the Heart Sutra in Buddhism by Thich Nhat Hanh. So how are these two related? We know at one point in history that Martin Luther King took a position opposing the Vietnam War. But how did that actually develop? It developed because the Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh wrote a letter to Martin Luther King explaining to him why he thought in the United States of America it was important to take this stance and advance that platform if there was ever to be any functional peace that people might ever be able to live in. Once Martin Luther King read that letter and dissected that idea for himself, these two ended up meeting and collaborating in history to take that stance and stand unified. And Thich Nhat Hanh ended up being Martin Luther King Jr.'s nominee for the Nobel Peace Prize. So I wanted to share that little piece of history with you because it's essentially lost, and because most people who aren't necessarily Buddhists or historians don't understand that necessary intersection point in history. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing today, I hope your family's doing well, and I hope above all that you're staying inspired and positive about all the things that can happen for you in your life. So check this company out. You don't have to have a lot of money to really go with this brand. Stay peaceful. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Help me with this channel. Stay tight. Bye-bye.